Well, hi everyone. Welcome to another edition of the New England Racing Show, Manchester, New Hampshire, Channel 23, and also on YouTube. And I'm your host, Bill Sturgis. Well, this past weekend, we went out to Oswego Speedway in New York State, near Syracuse, home of the Super Modifieds. And NEMA, Northeast Midget Association, was racing there. NEMA Light and the TQs, which are called three-quarter midgets. So we were there taping the action, and as usual, we take our pit tour, starting off with the three-quarter midgets. And I understand that these have 600cc motorcycle engines in them. And I'll tell you, when they were out there, it sounded like a swarm of angry bees. But these things really fly. We didn't get to tape that race, but we taped a couple of other races. And there's their official mascot right there. At 53 is Buddy Slode. The 16 of Danny Lane. And these are some really nice cars. Yeah, you look up close and everything's very well done. One B of Ryan Tidman. One interesting thing in these cars, it looks like the driver lays back in the car rather than sitting straight up like a midget. 98 of Matt Roselli. There was actually two 98 cars there. I don't know if one was gave him a different number, or if that was just a backup car. That one there had a little problem, hit the wall, ripped the left front off. And the small block supers from Lee, three of them showed up to do an exhibition race. The 21 driven by Tommy Tomborello, 55 of Mike Nedishin, and the 7 of Ryan Gath. And I believe Tommy was first in points, track champion, Mike Nedishin second, Ryan Gath, I believe, was third or fourth. And they put on a decent show, a little exhibition race, to show the Oswego people what our small block supers are compared to theirs. And here's the NEMA midgets, the Bigelow cars. The 45, the first one was Brandon Igo, the 11 of PJ Sturgis, 94 of Ray Valls. That's the 77, driven by Doug Cleveland. 29, that's a NEMA Light. Not sure who's driving that. The number 4, driven by Paul Scally. He owns a NEMA car right there also. So they were real busy trying to get 2 cars ready to go. 45 of Russ Store with a big Esslinger in it. Very powerful engine. Russ is a long-time racer of NEMA. There he is right there. The 25, a NEMA light car driven by Richie Morocco, a rookie who's doing really well. The 50, driven by Carl Medeiros Jr. That was a light car. Here's a NEMA car, the 7, owned by Adam Cantor. I don't know who they got driving it. 71 NEMA car of Seth Carlson, right there jacking it up. Teammates, the 41 and 51 of Danny and Megan Cugini. There's the 21 NEMA car of Jimmy Chambers. The 5 NEMA car, Bethany Store. 15 NEMA Light, Avery Store, Russ's son. 46 car, that's a light car of Kenny Johnson. The 9 of John Zitch, who's won several NEMA races this year. 39. That's a TQ car, 3/4 car, Lou Sacconi's. The 39 was Todd Bertrand. Here's the 9 NEMA car driven by Ian Coomans. Well, that was the light, and the 29 is Ian Coomans. The 1G is the NEMA car driven by Anthony Masella. He also races a modified in the Valente Modified Series. There's another 29 car. I guess there's a couple of them. Sorry if I get the drivers mixed up there. It's a pretty big racing operation. Bobby Seymour's operation there. And I understand that's a Gertie engine. Now we get to the big block supers of Oswego. These are up to 467 cubic inch engines, big block Chevy engines, pretty much unlimited as to what you can do to them. As you can see, they have a panel that goes right back to the rear wing for aerodynamics, and it runs alongside the body. So instead of having a wing on top, the whole body is pretty much a wing. These engines aren't cheap either. They can go from $20,000 up to $55,000, $65,000 for a new one. Let's see, we have names. The 3 was Brian Sweeney. 26 there is Sean Goslin, a young up-and-coming driver who raced USAC Ford Focus Midgets. And I understand he won the week before. The 50 David Gruel. Right now they were having practice, if you hear cars in the background. And there's some cars lined up. Auto Siddeley has a 3-car operation. A couple of number 7s and a number 2, the blue ones. Number 23, Clayton Brewer. There's a NEMA Midget. One that I haven't seen before. Right here, the supers are getting lined up 4 abreast with 4 push trucks getting ready to go out. There's Otto Siddeley's car. He's the track champion this year at Oswego. And if you go on YouTube and you search for Otto Siddeley, Sitterly, you'll see he has a 3-part video up of his race car operation. And I watched the 3 parts. It was really interesting. His take on super racing, and he works on the cars himself full time, and he makes all 3 of them the same. So if they have another driver, he says, I'll let him drive mine, I'll drive the other car. He says they're all the same, and he'll win with any of them. There's the front grandstands at Oswego. They're actually covered by a roof for most of them. First turn. And the midget feature, I had to tape from the grandstands under the roof there. So pardon some of the beams were in the way, the posts. That's the start, and we had a spin out on the first lap back there on the back stretch. Trying to find out who it is. It's right there. It turns out it's Randy Cabral in the 47. I believe he's leading the points. He's several times NEMA champion. And knowing Randy, I don't think he went around by himself. I think he had some help. Those are the back grandstands at Oswego. There's about 6 sections, and they've renovated 3 of them. It's all steel, and they were in pretty bad condition, but the new owners of the track redid the steel part and painted everything, and the whole front grandstands have been painted, and the track is looking pretty good now. You'll notice in the corners they have foam blocks lining the outside wall. And these blocks are made out of, I don't know, styrofoam, some kind of dense foam. And they're 4 feet tall, 4 feet wide, and 2 feet thick, deep. So a car hits those, as you'll see later, and the blocks fly, but the cars don't get damaged as much as they would just hitting the concrete. And here's the restart. The track is 5/8 of a mile. It's a really big track, and it's a motor track. You see, you need a lot of motor to go down the straightaways there. That's Bethany Store number 5 in first place, and she has a big S-limit in there, and she's really doing well. She's a young lady. I think she's about 21 years old, getting into NEMA with the help of her father, Russ, or Greg, I'm sorry, and he's in the 26, the white car, and she beat him in the heat. So I don't think Greg minded too much. He's probably pretty proud of his daughter winning the heat like that. So she's leading the race. There's Randy. We focused on Randy a little bit because he had to go to the back on the restart, and he charged through the field pretty well. So we followed him for most of the race, watching him pass cars. There's Bethany out front. I believe that's Seth Carlson right behind her. A little ways behind her, a few car lengths, and then a few car lengths behind him is Greg's store, Bethany's dad. There's Randy charging through the field. Just past the 21 of Jimmy Chambers. Jimmy's just started racing NEMA from NEMA Light, and he's doing a pretty good job too. Randy passing, I think that was a 30 of Paul Scally. Paul was running right up there too. And Seth right there trying to catch Bethany. After spinning out, Randy was on a mission. So now I believe he's up to 4th place. There's Jimmy Chambers passing Paul Scally. So Jimmy's up in 5th. Jimmy drove quarter midgets for a long time. Started with that. Went on to small block supers at Star Speedway, Lee Speedway. Moved on to the Pass Tour Pro All-Star Series, which is a really high dollar series. And now he's with NEMA Light and then NEMA. Okay. Looks like Seth is going to catch Bethany. Whether he can pass her or not is a different story. And they don't have spotters in these cars, and they don't have rear view mirrors, so you don't know. There he goes. Catches her on the outside with a lap car, going 3 wide into the corner, and Seth is off to the races. He's never looking back. What a move. He caught it out of the corner of our camera. That's a pretty gutsy move going into the corner to go on the outside of 2 other cars. But he made it stick. We were looking around for some battles. It seemed like the cars got strung out a little bit. On a big track like this, it's hard not to. There's Randy. Greg's store in front of him. The white number 26. I think Randy got up about as far as he can go, and he couldn't quite catch Greg. We're watching, he got pretty much right up to him. And he started to fall back just a bit. He might have used up his tires charging through the field like that. And then when you spin, that doesn't help either. The wings on the midgets aren't like the super modifieds that go up and down with air pressure. These are fixed wings, and you just get a certain angle, and you try to compensate a little bit. You don't want it too steep of an angle because that'll hurt your straightaway speeds. So you see the cars with the steeper wings, those are the ones with the big engines that can overcome that. But they really help in the corner to stabilize the car. And that was it. Seth Carlson ran away with that. Now we go to the small block supers. As you can see, we weren't going to tape that race, but we were sitting there in the first corner, and this car, the yellow car and another one were tied up there. And the white car that's in the blocks thought he saw an opening at the top of the track and tried to go through the opening, and he caught the foam blocks, and one of them went about 20 feet up in the air, and it looked a lot worse. He's fine. Thank God for those blocks, I'll tell you. We got to get those next year. We'll be racing at Lee Speedway again, and we're going to see if we can work something out to get those foam blocks in the corners. Because this is a result. You just get out and walk away. You have a little bit of damage on your car. Whereas without the foam blocks, you might get hurt pretty bad and your car gets destroyed. So we'll do what we can to get those there. Okay, these are the big block supers that we saw in the pits. This is their final race of the year. Final points race. Otto Siddeley was in first. Double O Joe Gosick was pretty close to him, and he had a chance to overtake him. And the 26 of Sean Gosling was in third. So here they come to take the green. The 99 of Michael Barnes took the lead. Well, that didn't take long. They already had a yellow. Same place as Randy Cabral. Same thing, ended up facing the wrong way. There's a double O Joe Gosick in second. Joe's a long-time racer. I remember him back in the early 80s racing. Fourth place, the bright blue car of Auto Civilly. Cars look a lot shorter without the wings on them. That wing is pretty huge. The ISMA, International Super Modified Association, runs with wings. And at this track, I believe they're about a second and a half faster with the wing. Just to show you what the wing does. You can really keep it, I don't know about keeping it to the floor, but you can go in a lot deeper and come out a lot quicker in the corners with the wing. After a while, they got strung out, and every time they have a restart, it was a single file restart, so we didn't have, I guess they do that because they don't want a bunch of people wrecking, but it kind of strings the field out. I was never a fan of single file restarts. In fact, NASCAR went to double file a year or two ago and created a lot more action. I'm not sure the drivers liked it too much, but the fans sure did. There's first Michael Barnes, second Joe Gosick, third Otto Sidley, and Otto went on to we didn't get the whole race, but Otto went on to pass them, and he won the race going away. Just by about a straightaway. He's in the lead now. He's just such a good driver. Those are lap cars in front of him. Well, that's the action at Oswego. The super race kind of got strung out. It was okay. I didn't think it was that exciting. My son said that there was a lot of it was like a chess game. There was a lot of inner workings that I didn't notice. Of course, I believe that. But next week we're going to be going up to we're going to follow the Scone, the dirt sprint cars of New England. Saturday night they're going to be at Bear Ridge Speedway, and Sunday they're going to be at Legion Speedway. So we'll catch the action at one of those tracks, and we'll have some good dirt racing for you next week. So thanks for joining us.